Hi, this is Kimberly Benjamin, your HR compliance coach, and I am out here conducting a seminar for a group of my clients talking about human resources and the importance of being compliant and being legal with court regulations and rules and employment laws. And we are just taking our lunch break. I thought I would sneak out here to give you some tips and share with you some of the things we've been talking about as relates to sexual harassment and making sure that your environment is hostile free and that you're not having sexual harassment claims, issues happening in the workplace. Again, this is Kimberly Benjamin, your Master HR Compliance Coach, giving you some tips around sexual harassment. So my very first question for you is, do you have an environment where people are able to tell jokes, demean other individuals, able to have displayed inappropriate pictures or images, or have an environment where people are able to just really show favoritism and discriminate against individuals? And if that's you, I want you to know that even though some of those examples I've given you may not be sexual related, it's still important that you recognize that those are the beginning blocks, if you will, as relates to creating a hostile work environment. And so as I share with you, I'm out here traveling this week, and as you can see, we're on break. And I want to give you some tips to let you know that if you do have that environment, it's important that you stop it. It's important that you don't ignore the signs, because hostile work environment and sexual harassment is on the rise, and we see it a lot in media. We see a lot of people that are catching cases around sexual harassment. We read a lot and we see on the news that there are organizations that may realize they have an issue with sexual harassment and hostile work environment, but they're ignoring the signs. And so my goal today is to give you some signs. And for one of the signs that you know you have a hostile work environment is that if you have people that don't feel comfortable coming to talk to HR, they feel like they really can't talk freely about what's going on with them because they're in fear of their job, they're in fear for their life. There are people that we've been talking about as well throughout the week that I've met who said, Kimberly, I'm at work and people are throwing things at me, people are swearing. And yes, swearing can also be a part of a hostile work environment. As I shared with the people here and throughout this week, is that all you need is one person. You can have one person who says that I am offended by this, I feel that I am in danger, that this is offensive to me, that can turn around and turn into a claim or a lawsuit. So it's important that you recognize that as well. And for those of you that are joining, feel free to say hello, let me know where you're from. Again, you know I love to be able to connect with you all and to answer your questions today. And today we're talking about a hostile work environment. We're talking about sexual harassment. Now, some of you also may have an environment where you're allowing people to say, hey, hun, or hey, honey, or boy, or man, or sugar, or whatever type of term you think it's okay. That could be offensive to people, right? There could be people saying, wait a minute, I'm not your boy, I'm not your honey, I'm not your babe, I'm not your sugar. That could be hostile work environment, and that individual could have a claim, could have a case. Yeah. So we have to be mindful of that. Now, I tell people all the time, I'm a hugger. Wherever I go, when I meet people, I'm open, I'm warm. People tend to compliment my personality, but it's me. So I physically in my mind and mentally in my mind have to remember, I can't go up hugging people. And we always laugh in the conferences when I do that. I can't go up hugging people because that could be offensive to someone. So even me as an HR professional, where I realize that that's an area that I need to work on, I could be crossing the line. If I'm hugging people, if I'm complimenting people, that can be very uncomfortable for certain people, right? So I have to be mindful of that. Now, also I want to make sure that you know that you can't go up touching people or in their space. That could be a hostile work environment. People can be uncomfortable. How would you feel if somebody was all in your space? Like really up close to you, talking to you. Whenever they see you, they come hug you or they touch you on your shoulder or something. That can be very unacceptable. Again, my goal is that you walk away knowing what you need to do to not have a hostile work environment. So sexual harassment claims don't always have to be around sex. It can just be around a hostile work environment. And even though in the media we see a lot of things happening now, it may be sexual related, the cases that are growing the most in the courts right now are for hostile work environments. So it's critical, absolutely critical, that you understand what's the difference between a hostile work environment and then just a regular work environment that's flourishing and growing and that's not discriminatory. So those are just some tips to give you regarding, do you have a hostile work environment? And for those of you that are saying, Kimberly, I know we have it, or I may need to know more or learn more about this, feel free to comment below, or you can send me a private message. I would love to speak with you to see how we're able to bring training to your location as well. But again, this is Kimberly Benjamin, your Master HR Compliance Coach, checking out. And remember to not ignore the signs if you know you have a hostile work environment. Don't ignore the signs if you know that inappropriate behavior is happening at work, because you really are responsible for what you know, and the courts know it as well. So you all have a wonderful day. I'll check back in with you a little later. And remember to stay legal and stay compliant. Bye-bye.